What's up, Union? I'm James Watlington, and this is another edition of UNews. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to click the links above my head to skip to the segments you want to watch. We've had a lot going on this week, so let's get to it. On Monday, Residents Life hosted their own Minute to Win It event over in Heritage. Lots of people came to participate in the fun competitions adapted from the popular TV show. Then on Tuesday over in Luther Hall, our very own President DSD presented a lecture on the gospel and the SBC. And get this, political science majors, he did it without a teleprompter. There was also a very handy class called Resume Writing for Educators going on in the BAC. If music is your forte, over in Hartley Recital Hall, Leonard Altino performed a fantastic cello recital. Then on Wednesday, just like every other week, our very own and my personal doppelganger, Janae White, led the SGA Senate. This week in Senate, they passed 5 bills. And get ready, guys, because the next Senate is, you guessed it, DSD Senate. If you saw a bunch of kids flocking around campus and noticed the food in Kobo was actually quite decent on Friday, don't worry, it'll be back to normal soon. It was just another preview day. Then on Friday night, open mic night happened at Barefoot's. This, of course, was a talent-filled night showing off some of the best voices from across campus. Also on Saturday morning, students took part in Kappa Delta's 5K run to benefit their philanthropy, Prevent Child Abuse Across America. That's all the events that happened this past week. Now let's shoot it over to Kelsey Grader at the sports desk.
Thanks, James. If you missed the athletic events for last week, I feel sorry for you because they're awesome and you should support our team. But moving on, the Bulldogs athletic teams were busy this past weekend. Men's and women's basketball regular season came to an end Saturday. The men's basketball team traveled to the University of West Georgia to play their last game of regular season. The Bulldogs lost in a hard fight against the Wolves, 61-72. The Lady Bulldogs basketball team also traveled to West Georgia, ending their regular season with a 61-70 loss. The Bulldogs softball team spent their weekend on the road. On Saturday, the Lady Bulldogs played a doubleheader against Valdosta State. They lost the first game 6-7 runs and lost the second game 3-5. The softball team traveled down to Pensacola, Florida to play the University of West Florida on Sunday. They lost both games against the Argos. The Bulldogs softball team redeemed their losses over the weekend when they won both games with a doubleheader against Christian Brothers University on Wednesday. This was their first Gulf South Conference doubleheader. They won the first game in a walk-off fashion in the bottom of the ninth off of a 2-run home run hit by freshman Kaylee Cruz for a 9-7 win. The second game went scoreless through 3 innings, but came out with a 5-2 win. Also on Wednesday, the Union baseball team faced Trevecca. The Bulldogs fell to Trevecca 3-9. The baseball team will have another chance for revenge against Trevecca on April 24th in Nashville. The Union women's basketball team traveled to Virginia this past weekend to play in the NCCAA Mid-East Region Tournament. The Lady Bulldogs won the region semifinal Thursday against Tennessee Temple. They will be playing in the title game March 8th at 6 p.m. Our athletic teams continue to represent our university this week with many games. Boys golf continues their season this week at the Grover Page Classic at the UT Martin Country Club on Monday and Tuesday. The women's golf team also faces off this week at the Christian Brothers Spring Invitational on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, both basketball teams continue to play in the NCCAA National Tournament in Indiana. Their opponent is to be announced. This coming Thursday, softball hits the road again to travel to Central Baptist College in Arkansas. This is a doubleheader with the first game at 2 p.m. and the second game at 4 p.m. On Friday, women's soccer has a spring season game. The Bulldogs will be going head-to-head against the University of Alabama Huntsville. The game will be at 7 p.m. here at Union. Saturday, the baseball team will be playing in a doubleheader against the University of West Florida. The first game will be at noon and the second game at 3. Softball will also be playing in a doubleheader, but against the University of North Alabama. The first game will be at 1 and the second game at 3. Baseball will be playing a third game against the University of West Florida Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fesmeyer Field. That's all for sports this week. I'm Kelsey Grader. Be sure to come out and support your Bulldogs. Over to Dominique for more upcoming news.
Hey everybody, my name is Dominique Willingham and I'm here to give you your upcoming news. This week has felt like it would never be over, but thank God it's finally ended. So what's in store for next week? Well, I will tell you. Starting on Monday, which is the 11th, there is an uplifting event going on in the Bold hosted by Zan Pratt. It's called Ministry Leadership International Missions. This time for this event is 10 a.m. in room 247. Moving on to Tuesday, Union's International Justice Mission Chapter will be hosting Stand for Freedom, where participants will stand for 27 hours to represent the 27 million people affected by slavery in modern day. And wrapping up Tuesday, we have Finding You at the U. This is also being held at the Bold in room 120. All right, Wednesday we have a cultural fest at 10 a.m. in the chapel. We also have a guest speaker in the Carl Grant Center by the name of Philip Eden. He will be presenting many topics throughout the week. On Thursday at 7 o'clock in the Carl Grant Center once again, we have Peter Gerlnick speaking about Lyceum, whatever that may be. And the long-awaited play Cotton Patch Gospel will be going on at 8 p.m. in the PAC Powell Theater every night from Thursday on. Well, that's all from me. Dominique is out.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of UNews. Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you have a story for us to cover, send us an email at unionunews@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and now stop staring at the screen and get back to life. Waddles out.